Hey guys, Mrs. Krauss here. Hope all is well. Happy spring. I miss everyone. We're just going to continue on with lesson 8. The last time we were together, we're going to do a quick review. We had talked about some peer pressure refusal strategies that you can use if you find yourself in tricky situations. And as you get older, we talked about this. Unfortunately, you will find yourself in tricky situations, and being able to use the peer pressure refusal strategies is going to be really, really helpful. We talked about how to just say no. If somebody asks you to skip class, just say no, right? We talked about a broken record. If as you get older, and next year you guys will be in middle school, if somebody says, let's skip class, I don't skip class. And if somebody says, well, come on, everyone does it, I don't skip class. But just one time, I don't skip class. Remember, that's using the broken record. We talked about also make an excuse. Make a believable excuse. Again, as you get older, say you're in middle school and you're invited to a party and you know that the kids there, maybe the parents aren't going to be there, the kids might not be making the best choices or the best decisions. You still want to look cool, I get it. So maybe just saying, I can't go, my mom has me watching my little brother, my little sister. Believable excuse. I can't go, I have a doctor's appointment. Okay, a lot of these peer pressure refusal strategy skills will help you. They will help you get out of tricky situations. What we're going to talk about today is something you might be pressured to use, a drug you might be pressured to use. But before we get started, we want to talk a little bit about what is a drug. Well, what is a drug? I want you to think about that for a minute. What do you think it is? A drug is something, boys and girls, that people take to make them feel better when they are sick, or an illegal substance people take to change how they feel. When we hear the word drug, we most often think it's an illegal drug, but we talked about prescription medications. That's a drug. And that's something that a doctor would prescribe to mom, dad, aunt, or grandmom for you to get better. And it's to make you healthy. So you have two kinds of drugs. The kind that makes you healthy, and the kind that you're not supposed to be taking. The drug we're going to talk about today is illegal for somebody under the age of 21 to use. And I want you to think for a minute. What do you think that is? It is alcohol. Alcohol is illegal for anyone under the age of 21 to use. There's 3 types of alcohol. You have beer, wine, and liquor. Chances are, as you get older, and we talked about this, somebody might ask you, here, have a beer. It's just a beer. It won't hurt. But, beer is beer. It's alcohol. And it's going to have a negative effect. We're going to learn a lot of different negative consequences due to alcohol use. One of which, for somebody under the age of 21, is slowing the growth of your brain. Your brain is going to continue to grow until your mid-20s, or about 25 years old. So alcohol use will certainly prohibit the growth of your brain and slow it down. Again, a lot of people are going to say, just use it, everybody does it, but most people, most preteens and teenagers know the negative side effects of alcohol, and we're going to learn them today. We're going to learn different areas of the brain that are affected by alcohol use. I'm going to show you a picture, but I'm going to read them to you. They're usually in your activity book, and I know when I show you this picture, it's going to be backwards, but I want you to see the picture of the brain. Okay, and I'm going to read each area of the brain to you. Okay, and what is affected by alcohol use. The first part, which is here, is the frontal lobe, right here. And the frontal lobe controls functions like decision-making and judgments. So somebody using alcohol tends to make bad choices and bad decisions. And that is the frontal lobe that would be affected. The second area of the brain that's affected by alcohol use is the temporal lobe. And the temporal lobe controls speech and language. So somebody that is using alcohol tends to have what we call slurred speech. Slurred speech. It's the inability to speak clearly. Okay, the third area of the brain, oh boy, the what is this? The hypothalamus, and that controls your heart rate. So your heart rate is also being affected by alcohol use. Alcohol is a depressant, so it slows your heart rate down. Okay, the fourth area is the hippocampus, and that is the area of the brain that helps us remember things. It's our memory bank. People that tend to drink tend to have short-term memory loss as a big negative side effect of alcohol use for sure. Okay, the fifth one, and I usually have my kiddos say this, it's the occipital lobe. So I'm going to give you a second to say it to yourself. Occipital. It's a nifty word. I always have my kiddos say it just because it is neat like that. And the occipital lobe controls vision. So somebody that is using alcohol tends to have what we call blurred vision. And that's the inability to see clearly. The next area of the brain that is affected by alcohol use is the cerebellum, and that controls balance and coordination. And if you see where that's pointing right there, the cerebellum. People that use alcohol, wine, beer, or liquor, tend to stumble around. They can't walk straight. Coordination is how well your brain is telling your arms and your legs to move, and it's just not happening when you're using alcohol. And the final area of the brain affected by alcohol is the brainstem. And right here, if you could see it, and again, I know it's all sort of backwards, the words, but look at that. The brainstem controls our breathing. So our breathing is also affected by alcohol use. So there's a lot of different negative effects of alcohol use for sure. Let's see. Now at the bottom of this page, and I'm going to try to get you guys this was in your workbook, so no worries. I'm going to help you out and read the areas of the brain, and what we're going to do is we're going to match them up to the effect of alcohol use. So the first one's been done for us. It says area of the brain is the hippocampus. Well, if using alcohol, let's see. They helped us out and drew a line. Alcohol use can cause memory loss and affect a person's ability to learn. Well, that area of the brain, again, is the hippocampus. Okay? So many different areas of the brain are definitely affected by alcohol use. And I'm going to try to get you kiddos this handout for you so we could figure this all out together. The temporal lobe is the one, again, with the speech and the language. So if we look here where it says effects of alcohol use, the very bottom, it says alcohol use can impair a person's ability to speak clearly, causing slurred speech. So again, that would be the temporal lobe. So lots of different areas are affected by alcohol use. You might know somebody that maybe somebody on New Year's, grandmom has a glass of champagne, maybe with, dinner or a glass of wine, but clearly they are over the age of 25. Their brain has grown to be the healthy brain that it can possibly be. So it's most important that we do not use alcohol because we need to have your brain grow to be the healthy, happy brain that it possibly can be for sure. We certainly know that, let's see here, what do we have on the back? Oh, we have some examples of ways we could use our peer pressure refusal strategies, which is really cool. Okay, I have an example, and again, I'm just showing you the back. This is all in your workbook, and I know you're looking at it backwards. It's okay. It's okay. We're all getting through this together, right? The example, and I'm going to read it to you. Just put your listening ears on if you would. It says, Arnold thought he and his friends would have more fun playing video games if they drank alcohol. So Arnold pressured them to drink. And again, this could certainly be a situation you find yourself in as you get older. Again, you're all going to be in middle school next year, so be prepared for this for sure. The fact, Arnold's thinking that he and his friends are going to have more fun playing video games if they drink alcohol, but the fact, and again, this is in our workbook, we will get these back, I promise, fact is alcohol use would slow down their breathing, causing them to feel lightheaded and possibly pass out. So Arnold's thinking he and his friends are going to have a lot more fun playing these board games, video games rather, my apologies. But the truth of the matter is, it's not. It's going to slow down their breathing, causing them to feel lightheaded and possibly pass out. Okay, so we have another, so I'm going to just continue reading these nifty scenarios and examples. So Polly thought she and her friends would look smarter playing the board game if they drank alcohol. So Polly pressured them to drink. Okay, so Polly's thinking she and her friends are going to look a lot smarter playing a board game. The fact, and again, usually I'd have you kiddos read this in class, but we're going to do this together like this. Alcohol would interfere with their ability to keep up with the game or remember whose turn it is. Okay, so again, that memory loss, right? Polly's thinking that she and her friends are just going to look smarter. We're playing a board game, you know, and you guys are home now. Maybe you guys are playing some board games, I'm sure, like Monopoly. I think I might play some of that later with my kids. Sounds like a great game to play. But you're not going to do better with your board game. The fact is, you're not going to know whose turn it is. Memory loss. Memory is affected by alcohol use. The third example, we have good old Wilson. Wilson thought he and his friends would be better dancers at the party if they drank alcohol. So Wilson pressured them to drink. So Wilson's thinking he and his friends are going to be better dancers at this party. The fact, the truth is, alcohol would interfere with their ability to hold a beat or keep their balance. So Wilson's going to think he's real cool at the party, and if he's drinking, and he's going to be a better dancer, and in all reality, his balance and or coordination will be affected by the alcohol use. And he's not going to be able to hold, as it said, it's not going to be able to keep his balance or keep a beat. That means being able to stay in tune with the music. And the other kid's probably going to be laughing. I'm like, look at him. He looks crazy. He's not even able to dance right. So alcohol does not help with that whatsoever. Okay, so what I'd like to do is, let's see if we have another page of these nifty examples for you. And we do. All right, we have Lucy, good old Lucy. Lucy thought she and her friends would have more confidence to talk to their crushes if they had a drink of alcohol first. So Lucy pressured them to drink. Again, a lot of these situations, boys and girls, you are unfortunately going to find yourself in. If you haven't already, I hope not. But if you have, it's okay. You probably will. That's why we went over those peer pressure refusal strategies. So here's good old Lucy. She's thinking she and her friends, they're going to be confident. They're going to feel brave to talk to other, boys if they're drinking. The fact is, and let's read the fact, alcohol would interfere with their ability to speak clearly and be understood. So here's Lucy. She's going up there like, hi, guys. She's, instead of saying, hi, my name